So recently, the YouTube variety channel SuperMega has made a comeback. On the chance you're not in the loop, the channel was started back in 2016. They had previously amassed over 1 million subscribers, over 400 million views across all their videos, and a decent following on Patreon. All of it would come crashing down, however, when former associates of the channel, LexUpdog and Leighton Stollard, came out with false allegations against the two, joined by YouTubers Nick is Not Green and Ethan is Online. The allegations were serious. When it was being backed by people like longtime guests on the channel Rav and two commentary YouTubers with ties to people close to the situation, you could imagine how it looks. Thankfully, their replies mostly exonerated them and they're back now. However, it's not all good news. The main accuser, Lex, just uploaded a new video trying to discredit the apologies made by Matt and Ryan. The video is awful. It was honestly a shock seeing this video show up because Lex had been teasing a new one in the comments of her original video for about 6 months. Unfortunately, instead of an actual response, apologizing for the numerous bad things she did like roping in Daniel Kyer's lying about Matt's relationship timeline, and being complicit in outing Ryan's relationship and misgendering the person involved when they were supposedly mad at him for misgendering them, we got this. A bizarre deflection and attempt at doubling down. The main reason I made this video though is a couple minutes into the video. Just for a second, I'd like to jump back to when the drama was still ongoing. A post on r/SuperMega show called, "Anyone else think about how Justin was basically groomed into a situation and being okay with it?" If you've watched any of SuperMega, you know Justin has been a fan since he's been a minor, probably around 14 or 15, and they've been in contact with him since he was a minor. I can't exactly say which age he started working for them, but it's very clear he was very young. You can find multiple examples in videos where they essentially just harass Justin as he gets older, and he seems very uncomfortable about it. Maybe it's not my place to speak on this at all, but it's something that made me feel uncomfortable for a long time, and it's not something I've seen many people talk about. The post garnered a bunch of upvotes as well as other people who began jumping in agreeing. This was during the height of SuperMega fans recontextualizing situations and jokes in their heads, and people began even posting clips that Justin himself would later clarify were jokes. And now, months and months later, Lex has spread that exact same accusation in her video. However, it's very clear that this is all complete bullshit, and I can explain to you exactly why. First of all, the message she shows as being Justin's does not match up with what she is saying the point of it actually was. Lex, I've been struggling all day with finding the right words to say in this situation going on, and truly all I can say is I'm so incredibly sorry. I especially had no idea about how Matt handled things behind the scenes. My trust was completely shattered and I feel absolutely awful. I'm finding out more things he's lied about as well, and it's just so crushing to me. I made the decision to leave SuperMega once I found all this out, and I'm not looking back. All of these things you had to go through is so unfair, and I appreciate you telling your story. I would have never known without it. I started working there when I was 17 and had so much faith in the company since I basically grew up in it. For this to come out is heartbreaking. I've also reached out to Rav and apologized for how your stay was at the office last year as well. I just wish I had known what was happening. Genuinely, I wish you nothing but the best, and I hope you can heal and move on.
Justin sent me a DM on July 28th, which was, what is it? It's the day of Don's first apology. He expressed guilt for not knowing what happened between Don and I. He expresses concern for everyone involved and went into detail about his past with Matt and about how he felt groomed by him and groomed into bad behavior from him by an early age.
Not to mention, this is reportedly Justin's one and only message he sent her. Plus, there's the issue of leaking Justin's age. It's personal information that if you've watched SuperMega, they've danced around several times. Sure, it could be for more insidious reasons, but at the end of the day, that's still information he'd rather keep to himself. Not to mention, some of the information actually given in the text is spotty at best. How do I know this? A couple months after the entire situation, I was listening to some of their old podcast episodes and found this.
We love you, Justin, for that.
Go check out Justin's channel. The link will be in the description. But he has been the one who has been editing all of our best ofs.
Is he of age yet?
He's 19, I think. I want to say he's 19.
Okay, good.
He's a fun dude, so go check out his Twitter and his YouTube channel. He always makes us laugh.
I did just mention that Lex shouldn't have leaked Justin's age, but if she's going to try and use it to make an accusation, I might as well use publicly available videos to prove it wrong. At the time of this video, which was 2017, they referenced Justin as being 19, and that he was only hired recently for editing the best ofs. But even if he was 17, so what? The thing is, a lot of the evidence people had for Justin being uncomfortable were honestly rather obvious jokes and happened years later. They also forget that, especially in the case of the Let's Play videos he was in complete control of whether or not he kept those in. You know, being their editor. I think people on the internet have this misconception that you are incapable of thought until you turn 18. It's like those people who claim they feel frontal lobe development. There's also this.
After this, Matt, Ryan, Justin, and redacted content creator, I won't say, went to Disney, and I never heard from Justin again.
Okay, so you didn't hear from Justin after August 4th, 2023. So why did Lex say that that was Justin's one and only message earlier? Wouldn't it be that you didn't hear from him after that message? With just the inconsistencies and outright lies of the last accusation, it's very clear what the point of the video is. It's doubling down, and it's doubling down on accusations that were already built off nothing to begin with. So I think we should go through some of the most egregious claims I've noticed.
Despite claims of not trying to diminish my assault, Ryan goes on to make a post tagging everyone who he perceives as having wronged him except for Don, the guy who assaulted me. He claims he calls me a liar, everyone else a liar that spoke out on claims that we spoke on Daniel's side. Ryan uses angry, passive-aggressive language to guilt and shame everyone involved that merely mentioned Daniel's name, liking it to having spoken badly on Daniel himself.
The way Lex is wording this, and the way it's absolutely aiming to be conveyed, is that Ryan is outright calling her a liar about everything. Unfortunately for her, the actual contents of the post are condemning the live streams Lex went on, wherein Leighton Stollard, one of the other accusers, would be the one to reiterate the suicide claims multiple times, and calling out the quote-unquote 15 seconds in her video that focused on it. Also, the following portion of the video is just incredibly ironic.
My only ever way of having found out that Ryan was uncomfortable was when I read it when the rest of me and his 300,000 followers did. Rather than having the chance to have spoken to him in private before going public, an offer I've extended multiple times when apparently I shouldn't have.
So she tried to talk things out with Ryan, only to supposedly get blown off, and is offended at having to learn how he really felt through a public statement. Huh. She also tries to throw this bizarre pot shot at Ryan himself.
In this post, Ryan passive-aggressively demands I seek accountability, naming out the amount of views a video stream had, which doesn't really work for Ryan when he has more followers on every platform than anyone involved. You know, it really makes sense coming from the guy that was saying fans that he doesn't understand power dynamics, though. Not very surprising that you didn't learn much in 3 months if you were just throwing blame the whole time, because that's not indicative of a man who's trying to change.
The issue of YouTubers and power dynamics is one that unfortunately isn't very clear. I've made a couple videos in the past covering situations like this, but no matter what your feelings are on that, this comparison makes absolutely no sense. At the end of the day, with how many views Nick's video got and the effect it had on SuperMega, one could argue you guys were the ones in power here. It just seems like an absolute reach to try and poorly work that shot at Ryan in there.
Ryan makes it clear that he doesn't understand what accountability means by passive-aggressively stating that he's taken his, now I need to take mine. Like, okay. For what? He doesn't even say for what.
Unfortunately for Lex, the entire point she's trying to make here falls apart by simply reading Ryan's statement.
To assume that I was speaking on Daniel is disgusting. Did you even watch my video? Because there's no other way to take how you speak in your post besides that I was talking about Daniel. When I was talking about how he was being spoken about by y'all who are still alive. Speaking in a disgusting way, which I didn't even accuse Ryan of. I've only accused Matt of because I heard him say it twice, and I will stand by that.
Except the exact text of Ryan's post specifically says Lex was talking about the way they supposedly talked about Daniel, and that she lied. God, it's like she doesn't recognize half the words she's responding to.
Everything I said except for the assault was a lie and putting it into question, and also claiming that everything that wasn't written explicitly in writing was a lie, while also claiming to support me, have supported me right out the gate, before shifting negative focus onto me, rather than having any words to say about the guy who assaulted me.
So right now she claims it's kind of insidious of them to throw everything else into question so that it makes the assault not look as bad. Except, Matt and Ryan have repeatedly said that the assault did happen, and the responses talking about everything else don't change that. And the comments and general opinion reflect that. Not to mention, she also criticized them for putting some of the focus on her and less onto her assaulter. Kind of like Lex's original video with the focus on them instead of her assaulter at times. Right here shows Lex herself seemingly doesn't have the ability of self-reflection. Her original video begins to veer off into digging into Matt and Ryan's own personal lives at points, yet they take any time away to dispute that mountain of claims, and all of a sudden they're targeting you more than the assaulter? I'm genuinely floored as to how she doesn't see what she did wrong at all in any way. The rest of the video is just more repeating information that has already been said by her and tidying up minor things. There is one thing though.
Most likely Dawn will get away from this fine, and many have wondered how. Dawn, generally speaking, does not have a parasocial fan base in the same manner as Matt and Ryan. My condemnation of Dawn only influences people so far as people with morality, as I don't have parasocial fans. The true lack of accountability stems from a lack of condemnation from Matt and Ryan to Dawn. How? Well, they decide to focus on publicly shaming me for speaking out about what happened rather than simply condemn what took place. They knowingly use their social influence to shift the audience focus from Dawn and their actions to questioning my motives and shifting the blame onto me.
What I think is really funny about this is that Dawn actually did not get away from this scot-free in any way imaginable. He's lost his primary source of income with Patreon, has lost all sense of community and contacts he had in the art world, and had to change his account numerous times, and he would still get found. Dawn does not have a way to come back due to a lack of parasocial fans. He is f***ed. Lex, you are being shamed for lying and aiding numerous other people in lying about other shit that doesn't matter, and revealing other things about their personal lives. They also did not shift the focus. They reiterated numerous times that an assault did happen and that it was bad. It's entirely Lex's own fault that her completely unreliable other claims fell apart. The rest of the video, she tries still to single herself out from the rest of the Nick is not green, Leighton, Ethan is online group that she was willingly getting high with and spreading more lies about SuperMega with on stream. There's also this hilarious statement.
Matt and Ryan's act of feigning ignorance and convenient forgetfulness enables them to self-victimize themselves.
Lastly, a former partner of Dawn's, who was reportedly groomed by him before Lex and him even started a relationship, left a comment. In it, she states that Lex backed Dawn up when accused, and that she acted like a snake towards her, supposedly supporting her, but not holding him accountable. The comment would later be deleted after being up for a while, supposedly by Lex, after advocating for the comments to be a place to open up and giving support to victims. So, you know, victims matter and need to be heard, but only when it's Lex. At the end of the day, even with this response video, of all the genuine accusations being levied against SuperMega, only one ended up being 100% true. That they handled an SA accusation poorly. Something that a channel of primarily people who were all friends with each other probably never even thought they'd have to deal with. At the very least, I hope you don't surround yourself with people you think would be capable of SA. I think the entire situation, which you can see another video about if you want to know what it's about, is one of the best possible examples of something very valuable, especially when it comes to internet creators. To hear both sides out before immediately jumping to burning it all down. You never know when a big exposed video is truly just preying on reactionary human nature. Anyway, that's it for this video. Leave a like if you enjoyed, leave a dislike if you didn't, fire a mortar launcher at my house if you really didn't, and subscribe for more. See ya.